Alright, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of my Under the Tree podcast. We are pushing to episode 5. I believe we're at episode 5. I'm really proud of myself for pushing out this content despite not everybody as many people seeing it as I want to. Y'all see, this is so cute, ain't it? I know it. I know it. I want to do some more, but I'm not sure yet if I want to do where I want to put them. But yeah, so I'm ignore my lips. I don't have any lip gloss. Well, I feel like somebody was like, she'll never have no lip gloss on. Anyways, just heard that, but yeah, this is episode 5, I believe, 4 or 5. I'm confident more so in 5 because we already did 4. Yeah, we gonna see. But anyways, yeah, I'm proud of myself for pushing out this content. Even though it has been a little emotional putting out some of this content. As you can see in my last video, I was a little more explicit in certain things that I said, which I feel like is okay, because at times we have those emotional feelings and things. Sometimes we have emotional roller coasters, and the best way to get off of them is to just let it out, you know. So that whole thing with cycles, yeah, I have been going through things within that week when I put out that video. It kind of made me like, you know what, look, I'm gonna just put it out there because I'm tired of people, and I'm tired of not speaking how I feel on certain things to, how do I say, like, protect people in a way, but not really like protect people, but I guess just like protecting, because I know what people have done is not the best, you know, which is obviously why I'm speaking out about it. And I, of course, nobody wants people to go through the negative backlash and things like that, but honestly, a lot of people bring it upon themselves when they treat people how they do. So I've learned to realize that can no longer be my problem, but that is, you know, that's their problem, because who told them to treat me like that in the first place, right? So that being said, we are here with our next episode, and today I honestly still don't know what I want to talk about, but yet here I am, because unfiltered is just easier, right? But I don't want to make this video too long because I don't have enough storage on my phone, let's be real. But I do want to get this out every Sunday, at least try every Sunday, because technically today is the beginning of the week. So yeah, plus just to help you guys out. Anyways, so today I didn't know if I wanted to talk about like fake friends and how I overcame that, or finding, or just like how I found what it was for me that I just felt like was something that I wanted to do. But I know that most of the stuff on here is for me to put my story out to you guys. So let's get into, since we were talking about cycles in the last video, let's get into how I broke the cycle of having fake friends and understanding how I figured out my friends were not my friends, okay? Now, this is a story that is definitely going to be worth a whole 20 minutes. Because let me tell you, I did not know for a while. So, growing up, I grew up in a small town, right? So, for y'all who know, you know. If you watch my videos, it's very few, but I'm not going to be mad. But the ones who watch my videos know, I grew up in a very small town, so like everybody knows everybody family know everybody mama, their daddy, uncle, sister, cousin, brother, everybody know everybody. as you can tell, I'm very country, so I did not grow up here in the city. Yeah, so in my elementary days, I had like a lot of Hispanic friends, let's be honest. I really had friends my color growing up, until I got to high school. I never really seen that though until I got older and I realized like, dang, all my friends really been Hispanic. I really barely had any friends of my color. All the friends I did have of my color, I cut them off. So I found that very crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It was just crazy. But so moving along, middle school, I didn't have many friends. Let's talk about how my friends came about, how I ended up in that situation in the first place. So growing up, I didn't have many friends. Of course, I told y'all how I was bullied growing up. So in school, I was bullied all the way up until like high school, because when I got to high school, I just stopped giving a fuck. And so people started leaving me alone because I just didn't give a fuck. Which is crazy. It's like when you give a fuck, people want to keep messing with you, but when you don't, that's when you stop fucking with you. It's crazy work. But yeah, so I was like, people talked about me all the way up into high school because I told y'all my little situation when I was a kid, peed on myself, okay? And I realized that it came from trauma. Like, that was a different type of trauma that I unlocked that I was not ready for, that I didn't even know I had. But I overcame it. Praise to the Most High, thanks to Jehovah. Okay. So yeah, that was that. So yeah, when I got into high school, I just stopped not giving a fuck. But from elementary, my best friend Hispanic. Middle school, Hispanic. High school is when I started making more friends my color. So I think also another reason I want to put this out here, the reason why I realized most of my friends were Hispanic, is because most of the girls who were like coming at me were girls of my color. And I did have a few friends in middle school that were like my color, but like I didn't hang out with them as much like as I did with the other people. I hung out with like more of the people that are considered outcasts. But I also knew popular people too, so you know, a lot of people casting me out. They slap on me. But you know, God didn't. Praise him. Okay. So yeah, that was that. But like, I never had any problem. It was a few girls like I said, I grew up with. I knew they were my color, but I wasn't around them like that. Mainly because like, I don't know what people get into. Like, you get what I mean? Like, especially at my age, like it was already girls my age losing their virginities, you know, getting passed around in school. Like me, I didn't want to be a passed around. That was never the ideal I had for my life. So I feel like not wanting to do like certain specific things like that, like put myself out there in that kind of way, being a society norm, basically. I didn't want to be a society norm. So shit, what they got going on? They gotta get out the water. So yeah, so basically I didn't want to be considered a society norm. So most of the girls my age, especially in middle school, I already lost their virginities. I did not lose my virginity until I was 20 years old. And that was a part of the reason. So as we continue on, I'm telling you a lot of things that I decided not to do that everybody else was doing. Which I feel like is one of also the main reasons that people talked about me. And plus I'm cute. Like, I didn't realize how cute I was until I got a little older. But I realized like, damn, I've been a bad bitch all my life. And these hoes were just mad. And I was nice. And that just made them even madder. But I feel like I was emotional as well. So people would play with my emotions and knowing that they can get a reaction out of me in that way. And it's not that I could never stand up for myself, but at the time I was afraid of who I would become if I was to illuminate my dark energy, right? Because I grew up around like a lot of chaotic situations, and I've seen how like bad things can turn out real quick when people get into that kind of energy. So for me, I was afraid of that energy for a little while, but as I am now older, I've learned to embrace both parts and aspects of myself without having to feel like I have to dilute one part of myself in order to embrace the other aspect of myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, moving along. I was an outcast. Technically, I was the weird girl. Like, I dressed up all kinds of crazy ways. At times, my hair was never combed, you know. So it was hard for me to make friends, right? So when I got to high school, let's get straight into it. Let's go on and get into it because we're about 10 minutes on the clock. I went into high school. I became friends with one of the girls down the street from where I stayed. And then, like, it was, like, just the group things, right? So we was a group of about 6 friends. Started off as 6 friends. And it's crazy. We were technically, like, a popular group, right? So during this time, I'm friends with these girls and stuff. And the whole time, I'm not knowing I'm the outcast in the group because I don't want to sleep with dudes or do, like, certain drugs or just, like, go to certain places. You know, like, I remember they used to be like, take one for the team. Like, we would go chill, right? So I grew up in a small town. There's a lot of hood niggas, right? I grew up with them. So, mind you, I knew the Crips, the Bloods, or whatever you want to call them, okay? I wasn't one of those people who just, like, on one side. Like, even though my favorite color is red, I'll always say that. My favorite color is red, but I'm not gang affiliated. So we would go to guys' houses to chill, you know, smoke, just chill. For me, I find it kind of boring that we would just be going over there doing stuff like that because it was just like, for me, it was just no substance. Like, we had this nigga's house, we seen his mom and them, everybody or whatever, his friends, they're cool or not, but like we there, like, but like we just smoking and talking, and it's like it's no substance like to it. Like it was just boring. It was boring for me, but for them it was fun. You see what I mean? So I feel like that's why I got like left out a lot. Plus I was oversized. I ain't gonna say oversized. I was a plus size. Like, I'm plus size now, but I've lost a lot more weight than what I was. I was like 300 and something pounds, 320 pounds. I'm way less than that. And it just, like, for me, like, it was like, I feel like that was another part why people didn't want me to come places, because I got a lot of hips, I got a lot of butt. So being plus size as well just made it expand, as you can say. So like it was always, you know, those kind of, if you're a thick person, you know what I mean. It was times where, you know, we all can barely fit in the car, but if I'm your friend, you shouldn't be worried about that regardless, because I was always that friend that was like there when you need it, or like call. I was always that friend, right? And I realized over time that I wasn't being appreciated. But during that time, I didn't know like all this, was a thing for me. I thought we were all cool, until I realized how everybody started grouping off into like little sections. Like, you know, I feel like always in a big friend group like that, the friendships will never last long, because you'll always have friends within the group, like friends with friends, but we're all friends. Like, you get what I mean? Like, it's a big old group, 6 people, right? Say 3 people friends, like they're closer than the other 3 people, or you got 2 people closer than the other 2 people, and then that's when you start to get like that chaos, conflict. But for me, I thought like I at least had one friend. I thought she was my best friend whole time. It was never that. It was never that. And for me, that was like a big ass slap in my face, because I didn't even realize it until like later on after, right? And mind you, this is before I honestly became into my spiritual awakening and things like that, before I started to understand energies of people and why people do what they do and the signs of, you know, how people are. But during this stage, hold on, let me finish this up. So yeah, it was a slap on my face, right? So this was before the before stage, right? So the start stage of the understanding that I started to have was once I moved away from my old town and came up here to the city. And being in the city is what really made me realize I didn't have no friends. I'm gonna tell you, right? It was my birthday weekend. I was working 2 jobs. At that time, I literally ended up paying for all of them to get up here. It was 4 of them at that time. I paid for 4 of them to get up here for my birthday, mind you, because everybody was like, how are we gonna get up here, right? I paid for 4 of them to come on my birthday. I paid for the hotel. And I found a way for us to maneuver around. Like, I planned all that because I was like, well, it's my birthday. Like, of course, I'm gonna plan that. But in that moment, I didn't realize I was overdoing it. Like, if you aren't able to find a way to show up regardless, you know, if I can help you, then you didn't want to come in the first place, right? So that happened, right? So they all came. We did our thing or whatever. It was okay, but it was just like, no, at the same time, because it seems like people complaining about stuff that we doing, but it's like, it's my birthday though, so why are you complaining about what I want to do on my birthday, right? So it was stuff like that. Mind you, this was my so-called best friend at that time too, but it was her and like 3 other people that I also considered friends at that time. So then there was another girl. She had no money. First off, let's talk about her. She had no money, no nothing. I paid for her food on my birthday. I paid for her to get in at the events on my birthday. I even bought that girl clothes on my birthday because I wanted for her left out when we was at the mall. She was like, I'm gonna pay you back. Girl never paid me back, but it's okay, because I already knew she wasn't gonna pay me back because I knew the kind of person she was. But even then, when I moved up here, I realized nobody was calling me, nobody was texting me, nobody was looking for me. But as soon as I post like something like, oh, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, oh, people calling me, hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? Always checking up on me when they feel like I'm doing something or I'm doing better, you know? And that made me realize, like, people just fake as fuck, okay? People will do anything to stick around you for their own personal needs, their own personal benefits. But not everybody's in it to actually be genuine and be a friend. So I'm over here being genuine because I care about people. But I realized I just gave them too much. So that made me realize, like, okay, cut them off, right? But crazy part is I was still in denial about my best friend. I was still in denial even though I had all these receipts, right? Until I realized, like, one day I called her. We were on FaceTime. We had nothing to talk about. And it also made me realize, like, everybody else I cut off, she's still hanging with, clearly. And if you think about that, if you talk to somebody, you cut off everybody else, they still friends with that person. 9 times out of 10, they probably be talking about you behind your back. Let's be real. So when I came to that realization, I cut her off too. It was a sad moment because at that time, I really thought we were friends. Just to realize we were never friends in the first place. According to particular people, I was still laughing, the joke of the group. But I guess, hey, I ain't the one getting laughed at now. But hey, here it is. You know, but that's just how life is. Like, I grew up getting bullied, and now look at me. So everybody watching. It's crazy how life works. But this is just to say, like, regardless of what you go through in life, regardless of like people that you meet or friends, so-called friends you thought were gonna be friends, never was your friends in the first place, regardless of that, you can still go through life and change yourself, regardless of how bad it may seem. Because like I told y'all, during this whole time I was depressed as fuck. I was depressed all the way up until I didn't really come out of it till I was about 20, let's be honest. And I started like elementary school depressed. So if I can come out of it, become better, become stronger, grow, and expand myself in the way that I have, then so can you. But you just can't let certain things and particular people be the reason that you don't grow or outgrow those situations. Like, of course people are going to talk, of course people are going to, you know, be jealous or envy or just be people in general, but you gotta let those people have their own emotions and allow those people just be them, you know, regardless of what they do. That's their own sad misery, not yours. So you just have to find a way to move on from it and validate yourself for understanding your own emotions and knowing that you are worthy in this life and in the next life, you know, because people gonna be people regardless. And that's something that I had to learn. Like, their depression, it got nothing to do with me, you know, their negative energy, it don't got nothing to do with me. Their jealousy, their everything, like, it's people at my job I have problems with because I just do what I do. But at the end of the day, am I going to let that destroy me from what I do just because of what they say? No, because then it's going to stop me because of them. But why would I let them stop me? And why would you let them stop you? You know? So that's the message for today. But I do hope y'all enjoy this Under the Tree Podcast video episode 4 or 5. I'm praying that it's 4 because I feel like it's a 4. But if it's 5, then it's 5. But I'm just grateful that I'm able to continue on with this regardless, you know, because I know it's people out there who actually do need this, because a lot of people aren't expanding and growing as much as they can because people are putting themselves in these boxes and they're keeping themselves stuck because of the normal society. I could have been an average Black American woman, pregnant by the age of 16, baby daddy, this and that, but I chose not to be because I knew what I wanted from life, and being okay with that is what made me grow and become who I am today, is by stepping out. Sometimes you have to step out and just not give a fuck. But like I said, that's the end of this video. I hope y'all see this view too, because it looked good. But yeah, but just be grateful and be thankful, because we won't always be here, you know, and it's just facts. Even though I'm not really a factual person, because it's some things that are beyond the facts. But yes, yeah, it's life. But as always, blessings of love, peace, and light. I hope y'all enjoy this video.